Hello, I am Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be reviewing Amon, Mutt, and Khonsu, which are the three new 750,000 Monster Point cards. So, with the latest update, these three new cards are now available for purchase, and what makes them a little more exciting compared to other Monster Point cards is that they actually come with the ability to form an assist evolution. Now, with an assist evolution, they are able to essentially contribute or donate various awoken skills, so you basically can have cards that possibly can fulfill new niche roles. However, because of their extreme cost of 750,000, we want to make sure that these cards are actually viable and you actually have good value for them because, well, they are expensive. And even though we have been giving out lots of monster points in the past, the average player may not actually have 750,000 monster points lying around. Furthermore, on Friday, there will be an official Gung Ho North America stream on Twitch, and on that stream, they will actually be announcing the winner of the Monster Point survey, which means you will be able to purchase a particular 6-star Godfest exclusive for 1 million Monster Points. So with that in mind, there is no rush or need to go out and purchase any of these three cards right now without actually seeing the winner. Because let's say the winner is something that you really desperately wanted. You want to actually be able to purchase them instead of these, because these will be always around forever, but the Monster Point survey winner will only be around for a limited period of time. So this video / article will summarize my thoughts and opinions on the three new cards, as well as how you can utilize them and where they fit in the current meta. So, as I already mentioned before, 750,000 Monster Points is still a very high price tag. So you want to make sure that you actually get good mileage out of these cards, and they can ideally take you into new and exciting content. Even though we have been given lots of them for free, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get more in the near immediate future. So you want to make sure you actually, have value for them. So, with that being said, we need to consider their assist evolution. So, by nature, assist evolutions are a special type of evolution in which you basically evolve your creature or card, and they will transform to something that looks like quite different. And this new card will retain their same active skill. However, they will lose their leader skill, they will lose the majority of their awakenings, but they will be able to donate specific awakenings when you actually inherit them. So this is important because now you can donate specific and possibly rare or niche awoken skills to particular cards and possibly make them function better. But with that being said, we want to make sure that these assist evolutions are actually valuable because the process is irreversible. Once you make an assist evolution, you cannot go back and reverse it. So you want to make sure you don't actually accidentally assist evolution something that you want to actually use as a leader or sub. So the first and most powerful of the three new cards is Amon, or Amon. I can't say names properly because this is hard, but his active skill is a 3-turn cooldown which generates 3 fire orbs. So cool, it's a short cooldown, easy to inherit over. That's good to know. However, his leader skill is what's going to be his signature selling point because it has no Skyfall combos, which in itself is interesting, but you gain 10 times attack when there are 3 or less orbs on the board after matching. So that's actually taking a little bit of dexterity to actually do. However, it's the second component of his leader skill, which is all attribute cards 10 times attack when reaching exactly 7 combos. So if you fulfill one leadership clause, with double aim and leaders, you get 100 times damage. Sure, that sounds kind of nice. But if you fulfill both leader skill requirements, you have 10,000 times damage. So with 10,000 times damage, I don't think anything is going to even remotely survive. Like, everything is going to get completely obliterated at that point in time. So he is basically the ultimate glass cannon card. And unlike Wallace, he doesn't actually kill yourself when actually playing him. He's actually much more reliable and proccing by comparison. So we'll pretend Wallace doesn't really exist, and Almond is the real one true glass cannon leader. He does have this unique playstyle, so that can be exciting because it can help spice up your gameplay. Again, he also has that 3-turn active skill, so again, easy to inherit over. He has this special L unlock awakening, which does improve his own overall damage, which is kind of overkill, but it allows you to unlock orbs when you match. So that can be valuable because let's say you've left 1 or 2 locked jammers and you really don't like that. You can make an L and unlock them, and then you can solve your problem later with a orb changer or board changer. And with his assist evolution, he's able to donate a skill boost. And that's incredibly important because that's a very rare thing to do. And you can grant these assist evolution awakenings in co-op or solo mode, so you can gain skill boosts across all gameplay modes, which can have certain applications, which I will explain further down. He has the best artwork, I feel, of the three, as you can tell from my sweet Photoshop skills. Like, he's totally there in the forefront. And again, there's no evolution required, so as soon as you purchase him, you can use him as a leader. Now, the cons are he has no defensive multiplier, so he is an extreme glass cannon leader. He has no health, no recovery, no damage reduction, but at least he is bind immune. He is challenging to activate. At least it's going to be unnatural at first, but then there are situations where it will become impossible to actually activate. And then the last con is that if you go for the assist evolution, he will have a 7-turn cooldown if not skilled up, and that can be a little problematic to micromanage because you don't have as much wiggle room. When you use assist evolutions, when you're actually aiming for the actual awoken skills, you want to have the active skill be as long as possible to have as much wiggle room that you can have. So, like I already mentioned, that 10,000 times damage is important because you're able to obliterate things, but we want to break down those two distinct leader skill components. So the first component is matching exactly 7 combos. You can't make more, you can't make less. You have to hit exactly 7 or you're gonna like gimp your actual damage output. But when you hit 7, just that alone is 100 times damage, and with 7 combo awakenings, it actually provides a reasonable amount of damage output, so you don't actually have to go for both components for every single floor. You could hit 7 combos and stop and be able to sweep a lot of content, provided you actually had at least some 7 combo awakening cards. So that is important because you don't have to stress out about it every single time. And the nice thing about this leader skill is that a given board will have on average 7 to 8 combos available. So you should, unless something truly spectacularly bad has happened, be able to actually activate 7 combos every single time. However, the second component of his leader skill is quite interesting as well. If you leave 3 or less orbs on the board, you also hit 100 times damage with dual leaders. Now, this obviously has applications as a traditional leader, but you can utilize it as a kind of like a farming leader, so to speak, because you can enable like Zeus Dios style active skills where you create a full board of one color and swipe and you deal 100 times damage. Some applications there, but we're going to focus back onto his traditional leader skill usage or leadership usage. So in order to leave 3 or less orbs on the board, you have to kind of consciously blob your combos. And when I say blob, it means you're going to be connecting multiple orbs in any random shape or pattern in order to basically just match them and take them away. So by that, I mean, if you have, say, 5 water orbs on the board, you want to obviously get rid of all of them to try and fulfill this leader skill component. So what you do is you would actually match all 5 water orbs in some way, shape, or form. So it could be an L, it could be a T, it could be a cross, it could be a line. Whatever you do, you just want to actually be able to get rid of them. So you're going to have to start matching in this kind of unusual play style, so to speak, of like kind of blobbing combos and making sure you reach exactly 7. So with that in mind, if you're going for 7 combos on a 6x5 board, which you should be doing, don't play on a 7x6. That's a truly stupid thing to do. But what you want to do is you want to count your combos and kind of math things out. So when you match exactly 7 combos, assuming no blobbing, you are going to be removing 21 orbs and thus having 9 remaining. So in order to trigger the full multiplier, you have to actually match 6 of those 9 remaining orbs, and that's done via blobbing. So again, you have to plan out your board and try and think, where can I actually match those orbs and how I can do it so to actually trigger both components of leader skill. However, like I already mentioned beforehand, if the encounter you're facing has reasonably low health, you only need to activate 1 component of the leader skill, and that should be able to sweep the floor. So, team building for Amon. So, what you need to do is basically you want to prioritize subs with time extends and high health, because with no defensive multiplier, you want to basically ensure that you can actually survive those incoming hits, as well as the time extends allows you to basically have more movement time to actually trigger both leader skill components. Remember, if you match both leader skill components, everything will die. Even Lakshmi with her stupidly high defense and no awoken skills, you can one-shot her. So you can do some really spectacular things with that. However, one kind of thing you may want to kind of have in the back of your mind is maybe utilizing 7 combo cards if they have high health and time extends. Because if you're only proccing 1 leader skill component, you're hitting 100 times. With those 7 combos, you are going to be able to at least achieve meaningful amounts of damage. So, for example, let's use Yuna, because Yuna is very popular. Yuna has 4 time extends. So, with those 4 time extends, you have 2 bonus seconds to move orbs, but she has double 7 combo. So, if you fulfill one of those components, you get 100 times plus the 7 combos, which is equivalent to 400 times effective damage. Should be enough to kill a lot of floors. So, just kind of keep that in the back of your mind when team building. For his assist evolution, he does grant that very tasty skill boost. Now, That skill boost can have lots of applications for niche and specific farming purposes, or it can be used in ranking dungeons, because when you are going through ranking dungeons, which is a solo mode thing, you are going to be somewhat capped at what amount of skill boost you can effectively bring. So having these assist evolutions will give you that extra skill boost, which could enable you to use a more optimal sub in order to have those specific actives skills ready in time. This is obviously very luxurious, but he is arguably, in my opinion, the best of the assist evolutions as well. So Amon is hands down the best purchase, but again, he is quite situational. He may not necessarily push you into further endgame content, but he's a very fun playstyle to actually utilize. So next is Mut, which rhymes with nut, and Mut is actually mother in ancient Egyptian. I looked that up on Wikipedia. I don't know why I did, but now you know, the more you know. So her active skill is no Skyfalls for 1 turn, as well as changing wood to water orbs on a 4-turn cooldown. So it's quick charge and you can easily inherit something over top of it. Her leader skill is quite orb hungry, unfortunately. You get 3 times attack for each water cross formed, as well as 5 times damage and 25% damage reduction when matching 6 connected dark orbs. So you have a very orb hungry component. You need to make basically 6 connected dark orbs and at least 1 water cross. And doing that, which is 11 orbs, is only 3 times 5. That is 15 times damage, so 225 times. I don't know why my math was so bad possibly in the article, but 225 times is not bad, but it's still quite orb hungry. If you match 2 water crosses, it's only 81 times, so that's not enough. So you need to really have the dark and water, and that may or may not necessarily be enough damage because your combo count is going to be diminished because you have this row to deal with, or blob of 6 and then a cross. If you do 2 crosses, you obviously have more than enough damage to kill things, but again, this is very orb hungry, and that's problematic because your damage reduction component is not passive. If she had a passive damage reduction component, or at least a health or recovery multiplier, she could actually be a reasonable leader because you could actually stall for those orbs to be present on the board. But without that, it's going to be quite hard because, again, when you have those 6 dark orbs, you're going to be trying to kill the floor, so you can't stall that efficiently. So this is quite problematic. And her assist evolution, whilst unique, is not as game-changing. I'll explain that shortly. So, again, like, she is interesting. She is kind of pretty, but she has a strange name. And in all honesty, I don't feel that she's going to have much merit as a leader because she's not really doing anything better than anyone else. Like, Amon does something better than anyone else. He is, like, a glass cannon powerhouse. Mutt is just kind of an awkward orb-hungry card that wants so many different components and it needs so much to go right for her to produce meaningful amounts of damage, which is not even that high. But it's her assist evolution that I want to focus on because that's where a lot of people may be considering her. And she does give the super bind immunity, which is basically 100% bind immunity for that card. So you may think, wow, I can give any card I wish for 750,000 monster points bind immunity. But the thing is, pretty much every top tier leader is already bind immune. So now we're thinking, well, I can make a sub bind immune. But again, most of the good subs are already bind immune. So now we're thinking, so if my team is mostly bind immune, I may have 1 or 2 subs that are not bind immune. Is it worth it at that point in time? And this is my opinion, but the answer I feel is no. Because, well, if 1 sub is bound, your team does not necessarily fall apart. And for the most part, again, most of the good cards are already bind immune. So you're going to be trying to making a possibly useful card bind immune, but is that really worthwhile considering her actual active skill is not that helpful? So again, let's return to the Yuna example. Yuna is a very powerful sub. However, she is vulnerable to binds, but she does have a useful shielding component. But would you want to have the chance of your shield being overwritten by a completely worthless active for the most part to make her bind immune? I wouldn't do it. Even if Gonko somehow magically gave me Mutt in her assist evolution form, I would not make my Yuna bind immune. I just wouldn't. Now, you can obviously argue that other leaders you can make bind immune, but again, you're still struggling with that problematic active skill. Like, you could say make Mary Dionylus bind immune, but again, is that really necessary? Probably not. Again, Mary has a great active skill you don't necessarily want to override either. So I feel it's just a problematic assist evolution, and the fact that she's so expensive to purchase, you can't get it any other way, is really not going to really justify it overall. And again, this is my opinion. Again, if you feel like that you can have great benefit or merit from her assist evolution or even her actual form for leader skill potential, go for it. But again, remember that Monster Point survey card will be announced this coming Friday. And last and certainly least is Khonsu. I'm probably saying that name wrong, but he is the most lackluster of the 3. His active skill changes the top row to wood orbs, so sure, specific niche farming builds may appreciate that. It's on a 5-turn cooldown, so easy to inherit over. But the biggest problem is his leader skill plus awakening. So his leader skill is 3 times attack and 25% damage reduction when attacking with 6+ wood orbs at the same time. So you have to make a row of wood in order to get your damage reduction and some multiplier. I'm talking about just some. Double leaders with just a wood row is only 9 times damage. Like, what year is this? 9 times? Like, no, that doesn't work. So you have to fulfill the other component. And his other component is matching 2 sets of light for 3 times damage. So if you had 12 of those orbs, like 6 and 6, you had a wood row and 2 light combos, you can get a walloping 81 times damage. You're probably not going to kill anything either with that. So you need to get 3 light combos for you to actually take off and do meaningful amounts of damage. And with 3 light combos and the wood row, you get 7 times 3, which is 21. And 21 squared is 441 of dual leaders. So that can at least kill things. But you require 9 light orbs and 6 wood orbs. Good luck getting that from a given board. Good luck stalling for that on a given board, like when you face problematic spawns, because challenging leaders will not give you that time to stall. And the fact that your damage reduction component is tied to matching 6 wood orbs, which you need to have hoarded, it's not going to fly. This is not going to work out. This is going to be so problematic. Furthermore, his awakenings are just 4 wood rows and a super finger as well as bind immunity. Like, whoop-de-doo. Like, it's not going to really work. And furthermore, his assist evolution is 3 wood orbs. 3 wood row enhance awakening. So you can make your Lube Zeus Dios farming team do more damage. Like, no, just use a active skill that boosts your damage. Like, this is not a good value assist evolution. Like, row teams have not been favorable for a long time because A, they're orb hungry, B, their combo count's lower, and C, you can't really stall on problematic spawns because they won't give you the chance to. So all in all, Khonsu is just a sad card. Like, he's already dead upon arrival, which is kind of strange. Like, I don't know why they made him so bad for that kind of price. Even if he was like 100,000 monster points, I don't know if I even would purchase him. So just a sad card overall, in my opinion, because his damage is so hard to ramp up. Like, again, 6 light and 6 wood is only 81 times. That's not enough to kill most things. And again, that assist evolution with the wood row awakenings is not going to really help out. Maybe you like that active skill for really niche farming, but in all honesty, you could probably find something better. You could have rolled like those dragons or like Sharon or something that makes the row somewhere. So it's not that helpful. So in conclusion, of the 3 new Monster Point cards, Amon is the best of the 3, and even then he does have situational value or usage. You're getting a spectacular glass cannon leader, but will that help you push into further and new content? Probably not, because if you're struggling to clear, say, Arena 1 or 2, Amon is not, it can clear it, but it's going to take a lot of effort and it's not going to be necessarily that consistent. So it's not going to really help you push into further content. It's going to be cool to have, and again, the skill boost assist evolution is useful, but again, that's really luxurious overall. So in conclusion, I don't feel like these cards are going to see that much value just because, again, they're expensive and their usage is niche and situational. So let me know what you think about these cards in the comments below. Do you think you're going to purchase them or hold out and maybe look for what the Monster Point survey has in store for us? Hopefully you all have a fantastic day. I wish you all the best of luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.